Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you are doing amazing. Happy Friday. I am so excited to be here and to be able to talk with you today. So we're going to be talking about live versus pre-recorded, and which one you should do. And here's the thing is this is something I get asked a lot, but like, oh, should I get that? Should I do that live? Should I pre-record it? Like, what are some of the pros and cons? And really to break this down, I think the easiest way for me to do this is to explain what happened with the last two events that I put on. Because the last one that I did, it was a live summit challenge is what I call it. And then I did the Pelvic Impact Summit earlier this year. And so those are two different events that I put on, which were one was pre-recorded, one was live, and really break it down of how you can do that and how you can decide which one you should do. Okay. And I think, again, that's probably the best thing I can do to help you to understand that. And so thanks so much, for tuning into this. Really appreciate it. And so what we're going to do is first, let's talk about the Pelvic Impact Summit. So the Pelvic Impact Summit was essentially your traditional summit. And so summit is a series of pre-recorded interviews. And so what we did is, Kim Vopin and I, we partnered up to do this one so that we could, leverage our networks and our skills and things like that. And so what we did is we decided that we wanted to do a 3-day summit where we'd have 5 different speakers on each day. So a total of 15 speakers. Okay. So with a summit, a traditional summit, it's all pre-recorded. And so one of the nice things about that is that you can get everything prepped and you can pre-record all the content, and then you set it up in, your hosting site. So I use Kajabi. And so we'd go and I set everything up. So we had day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, we did have a live part of that. But for the most part, this summit was all pre-recorded. So what that meant is that behind the scenes, we had to do a few things. First of all, we had to find, the speakers that would speak. And so part of that was some brainstorming from us, and Kim already had a lot of connections there. So for her, it was pretty simple to say, okay, here's, the different people. I had some, that I was wanting to be able to talk to as well. So we came together, did that. And then we had to go and talk to the different people to schedule a time to, actually get that done. So we scheduled the time, and then we jump on the interview and we record that. And then we had to, kind of do some post-production on that. So we had I basically created a template that I could use. So then I could just plug them in and it was pretty simple. But then we get all those pre-recorded videos, we upload them to the website and get that all set up, get all the landing pages set up, and then set up all the emails and everything so that we can then actually run the summit. So then we run the summit, and then it goes through and sends people to the different pages so that they can watch the videos. And so one of the nice things about pre-recorded is the fact that, hey, like if you mess up, you can edit that out or you can change or do things like that. To be honest though, we had like maybe 1 or 2 edits that we had to do. We didn't really have to do that. And for the most part, that's what I've found is that in an interview, there's, sure, there's things that we may mess up or do, but like for the most part, it's just kind of real life stuff. So we're just going to leave it as is and be able to show that. And so the nice thing is you can edit that if you need to. Again, I haven't seen a ton of need to do that, but that's one of the benefits of having pre-recorded. The other thing that is nice is you can get it all set up and you don't have to worry about some of the live issues that can come up, right? When you go live, sometimes, oh, are we connected yet? Or the internet stopped working or whatever, there can be some issues there. But like with the summit, there's quite a bit of work that goes into that, with 15, if you imagine, like having 15 interviews. So you've got to schedule those all out, figure out when works for everybody. You got to make sure you get it done before the event happens, enough time so that you can actually record or, do the post-production, put it up and do that. And so, that's some of the drawback is that, especially with a larger summit, is that there's quite a few interviews to get coordinated, to get set up and that type of thing. And so that's one of the harder things about pre-recorded. And also I should mention too, that, pre-recorded, like let's say you're putting on a webinar or a workshop, that could also be pre-recorded. That could be something where you have it pre-recorded and you have people go to a landing page where they opt into it and then they get access to it for so long, or it starts at a certain time or whatever. So then they can go and they can view the content and then be done with it from there. And so the one downside of pre-recorded is just the impact that you can have. And so it's because it's not live, there's no real interaction with the audience. And so it's kind of like, in my mind, a course in a sense. When you have a course that you've bought, like I remember I bought this YouTube course a long time ago and it was really, really good. It was super thorough. It really I felt like I really understood a lot of the, the algorithms and the different strategies that you could use with YouTube and how you could actually go and do that. However, not having an instructor there and someone like a coach and someone to talk to, it just wasn't as impactful because what about, okay, like I understand the concepts and what I'm doing and here's what I'm going to do. So what do you think about that? And is that the right approach? And so that's the thing that sometimes is hard with pre-recorded is that you don't have that interaction. And that's, where people are less likely to show up when it's just pre-recorded because it's not as urgent and it's not as, beneficial in that way. Okay. And so let's jump forward to the last summit that I did, which was a live summit challenge, the Massive Impact Challenge. So with the Massive Impact Challenge, it was all live and that was by design for me. I was like, okay, I really see the value in doing a summit and bringing together people because, I'll do another, podcast on this where we talk about organic strategies and how that can be really powerful when you can collaborate with others. And so that's, an episode for another day, but I really saw the power of that. And so I was like, I want to do that, but putting on a summit again can take so much work and coordination and all of this. And so I was just like, is there a way that I could do this where it's live? I can just jump on, record, and then upload those to like a members area and then just be done so that we can, have a live challenge, a live summit, but not have to go in and do all of the things beforehand to get it all set up and do that. And so that's what I decided with the Massive Impact Challenge. And so there's still some of the coordination piece with that because you do have to coordinate the time of when you're going to do it. There was some back and forth with some of the people. Now that I've done that though, it's easy for me to be like, okay, cool. Like it'll be so much easier just to have a calendar link that's specific to this challenge. So the people that are interested in that, I just give them that link and then they can pick a day and then we'll just jump on, right? Like then it will just be a lot easier to coordinate. So there was still some of those hiccups there. But the fact that I could just jump on live and we could do the interview there was really, really nice because I think sometimes, like it was just nice to have it already set up where it's like, here's the schedule of what we're going to do. We're going to do this every day. We did it at 9 a.m. Eastern. It was a little early, but because I'm in Mountain Time, so it was 7, and so getting up, and doing all that. But so we went through, and it was really nice for me to have it already scheduled. So it was like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Is every day I'm jumping on, and we're doing this, rather than figuring out, okay, well, when can I do this interview and that interview, and does that work for someone else? And hey, like trying to coordinate all that was just like. Is a lot more. Whereas live is nice if you do have that schedule set up because then you can say, okay, look, we're going live. We're going to go and impact people. And that's the really cool part for me with live is that interaction, that you get the interaction with people. And, through a challenge and a summit, if that's live, you can get the comments as, in the Facebook group or wherever, as those are coming in, which is really cool. And it's great to be able to do that. However, it's even more impactful if you can get on like Zoom and if you can get people on Zoom where you can then really help them and be able to interact with them and hear from them. They can talk, you can talk, and really have a lot more value. And so that's like super valuable because you can, have that live interaction and that help. And so it's really impactful as, someone going live as a coach, but also it's really impactful for the people that are going through that with you, right? As they're trying to figure out and learn from you and, ask you questions, then it's a lot more valuable for that. And so that's like one of the huge benefits for me about doing live. And so the other thing is, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that, I should share with you, but I think that's pretty much it. Like the, again, and I guess I did mention that with the pre-recorded is the fact that when it is live, people are more likely to show up because there's some urgency around it and it's something that's just cool. I mean, you see this concept everywhere, right? Like look at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn now, like what do they all have in common? They have some sort of live feature, right? So clearly that's something that is important across the world and across all markets is that idea of going live. It is, a powerful concept. And of course you can upload videos to all these different platforms, but there's a reason that, that people like live and it's because of that interaction and the things that you can do. And so it's a really, really powerful way. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit of the difference between live versus pre-recorded. And I'm super excited because tomorrow tomorrow is my live event, which is going to be so fun. So Build Your Event Live, and it's on Zoom. And so it's totally live. Like I'm going to be doing like a teaching, but then I also have a workbook for everyone to go through. The Build Your Event Live workbook, which my designer, my beautiful wife, she put together, which is so awesome. I love it. It's actually right here. Here's a little sneak peek into some of that. But it's so fun to be able to do that live, because then again, I get that interaction with people and I can hear what their questions are, and I can figure out, okay, this is what they want to do. This is what they are struggling with and how I can help them. So it's just that much more impactful. And so if you're interested in that, there's a link here. So it's just, if you go to pelvicimpact.com/live, then you can join us tomorrow, which I'd love to have you there. And it's just, I love these events. They're so fun. Again, because of the intimacy that you can have, just that live interaction is just so powerful. And it really is a great way to be able to serve and to help. And so that's why I'm all about events. I think they're amazing. And part of the reason too, why I decided with my podcast, I knew I wanted to do a podcast. I've been wanting to do one for a while. I've had a little bit of experience trying things out here. But I'm all about events, as you know. Like, I see the power in using events all over the place. And so this is one of the reasons that I do my podcast live, and then I upload, the audio to my podcast service as well, is because it's something that I want, that interaction. I want that live. And, I know we don't have a, ton of people necessarily jumping on these lives right now, which is totally fine. But like, I wanted it to be a thing that's like, I'm using events in my business every day, right? Like every day I'm having my live show, I'm having some sort of event, and then I'm doing challenges and I'm doing live events, because again, I see the power in this. And I know that it makes a huge difference. Like, this is what the top entrepreneurs are using. They all teach various things, but all of them are using events, right? And I guess I shouldn't say all, because there's some people that maybe don't, but really the top entrepreneurs that I follow and that I see, they're using events in their business at some point in some way. That's what they do, because it really allows you to make a huge impact on people's lives, and it also brings in income as well, which to me is the best combo, because it's not, hey, like, go through this funnel and go buy this stuff and then go watch it yourself and learn some stuff, right? Like, okay. But like, if you can really talk to someone, and again, maybe it's live, maybe it's pre-recorded, but you have some sort of event that there's urgency and there's some, excitement around this event. It's so powerful, and it really does allow you to impact people's lives and to find those people that want to work with you as well, which I love and so fun. And so thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I hope we'll see you tomorrow at Build Your Event Live. It's going to be super fun. And if not, come the next time, because I'll be doing this, May 1st as well. So I guess I shouldn't have told you that, because then you have an excuse not to go. But I'm just kidding. But it is a lot of fun, and if you're interested in really using events in your business, and this is the perfect way to do this on a very an awesome, impactful way to get started with that. So thanks again. Really appreciate you tuning in to this. If this is something you found valuable, give it a like, and share this with your friends too. So thanks so much.